Hello and welcome, my name is Kyle for the win and welcome to another Call of Duty Modern Warfare video. As you guys know, Modern Warfare was revealed on Thursday, and today we are going to be talking about all of the new created class options that are in the game, and we're going to be just focusing, pardon me, on the weapon customization / the Gunsmith feature. I already made previous videos on all the lethal and tacticals and all of the perks, so those are all of the other things that have to do with the classes, but now we're going to be talking about all of the new created class features. We'll also be doing a video on the field upgrades later on, but today we're just going to focus on the created class. As usual with these videos, I'm going to show you a full entire clip from the previous from the live stream of the multiplayer reveal, and then we're going to go into it and break absolutely everything down for you guys. So I hope you guys go to enjoy it, and I will see you guys at the end of the multiplayer clip.
I want to get to business. Obviously, the created class system, the operators, I think that's the first thing you have to decide, right?
Yes, I mean, the operators are purely to make you feel like a badass when you get into the game. So when you first load up, you'll see we've got back to the factions. So we've got the Coalition, respectively, on the west and the Allegiance on the east. And so you can kind of see my default kind of strike team here. And as you go in and actually select your operator, you can get a little... And this, I mean, obviously we have some stuff locked here, okay, but I'm gonna roll.
Now that guy looks like a badass.
D-Day.
They all look pretty badass. I like Zane personally.
Yeah. So my two favorites, Zane.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he's got a tactical poncho.
Is that what that's called?
That's the, yeah. Before I get yelled at by Joel, it's not a cape.
It's not a cape.
It's not a cape.
Not a cape. Tactical poncho. But moving forward from operators, the actual created class system. This is where things get really, really interesting to me, because the first thing to note, pick 10 is no more.
Yeah, we wanted to keep it simple, you know, and as Jeff said, we wanted to kind of move our complexity into Gunsmith and keep the front, like, if you want to have a tactical, you always have a tactical, you always have a lethal, you're always ready for that.
Yeah, we're just trying to pick where the complexity is, and so we're not asking too much of the player, and we want them to kind of really dig into the weapon and focus on that. So.
Well, where a lot of the customizable options comes is the Gunsmith, and Ashton's going to hop in there for us. So this is new, and this is wild, and this is awesome. Can you guys kind of talk to me about what is special and very cool about the new Gunsmith feature?
Well, I mean, early on, we really kind of decided that, or realized that your weapon is the main character in MP, and it's what you use to interact with our world, and so we kind of just put all our chips in on this system. We had to convince the studio of this crazy endeavor, and we're averaging 30 to 60 attachments per weapon.
Yeah.
The 30 is on the pistols. It's a little harder to scrape by with some with all these attachments, but you just use the weapon and they unlock. And
to clarify, for example, if you were to pick the AK-47, right, you can change that. Like, for example, you take the stock away, all of a sudden you have the AK-74U.
Actually, you can do a caliber change, short barrel, and get the AK-74U, and then you can actually do a drum mag, long barrel, muzzle brake, like ACOG, and make more of an RPD. Like, you can really, like, the guns are really flexible.
Well, Ashton, what have you been building over there? What's your go-to?
I mean, I'm an AK player, or an AR player. I mean, we do have an AK on here. So I'm just making kind of a newbie class.
Ashton, jump to that pistol that you have on that loadout, and then go into Gunsmith and then toggle it so we can rotate it around.
Oh, there it is. This is the sexy shot.
Yeah.
And one thing as well that I'm not sure if people at home actually caught, but you actually have perks on the guns as well now.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's kind of we kind of wanted a little get out of jail free card where we didn't have to put a physical attachment on everything, but you'll find a lot of fire select stuff in there, caliber changes. And
yeah, things that we don't want to make something up, right? Like, here's this knob on the side of the gun and it does this. So we wanted to have some things that were functional that weren't represented, but everything else, all the other slots, every piece is there, and we actually built all of the functionality based on real life, how it would affect the gun.
I feel like I'm going to be like Tony Stark at the stuff that it looks like I'm going to be able to do with this. Like, just endless hours of customizing and finding the best setup, what you really like to use. It's sensational stuff.
All right, so there we go, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. There was a whole lot of stuff to break down. This is probably going to be a pretty long video, but let's not waste any more time and jump straight into it. So as we can see here, the first thing here in the clip is we get to see the brand new operators, which is a brand new feature that's been added into Modern Warfare, and these guys don't have any special abilities or anything like that. They're just an aesthetically they're just an aesthetic character that basically is just the person behind the gun, basically. So they had a decent sized emphasis on this in the actual reveal of the game, but for the most part this is just for show. So as we can see here, for the West, which is the Coalition, there's two factions in Modern Warfare. The first one is the Coalition and the second one is Allegiance. The Coalition is sort of the western side of the US, so that would be the United States, Canada, Mexico, the Europe, and stuff like that. So as we can see here, we have the default operator, which is what you'll get from level 1, and then you'll be able to unlock each individual operator as time goes on. So we have the SAS operators, there's 3 of them, then we have 3 Warcom operators, and finally we have 3 Demon Dog operators. Here in the multiplayer reveal, they had 2 SAS available and 1 Demon Dog available. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how they actually implement this into Modern Warfare. Will these be unlocked by just playing the game, or will you have to grind, or will they be in supply drops? My hope is that they're grindable so that you can unlock them like in Rainbow Six Siege, which was very, very cool, and it was honestly very satisfying to be able to play the game, unlock these, and use a brand new operator. So I hope that they allow here in Modern Warfare for you to actually grind out for these operators instead of just having to get them through supply drops. So we'll have to see come the release of the game, but overall they're very, very cool looking. And now she's going to jump into the Allegiance here, and what we can see here from the Allegiance is we can once again see that there are 3 different factions for the Allegiance. One of them is, of course, the default standard character, and with the Allegiances, it's basically the western part of the world, so that's Russia, Africa, and the Middle East. And as we can see here, we have Spetsnaz, which of course is Russian, we have the Jackals, which is, I think, from the Middle East, and finally we have Chimera, which I believe is Africa. Again, she has 2 operators unlocked here. One of them is the Jackals, and one of them is from Chimera, and of course the default one, which looks very, very cool as well. So those are all of the brand new operators that have been added into the game. There's of course the operators that you get from pre-ordering special editions of Modern Warfare, such as the Precision Edition, or the Dark Edition, or the Digital Deluxe, and so on and so forth. So you get access to those individual ones as well. So now we're going to go ahead and jump into here with the create a class system, and this is definitely going to take up a majority of the video, so hold on tight for that. So what we can see here is you have 5 loadouts to start with. This is standard in every single Call of Duty game from level 1 to 55. You have 1 class, and then I'm hoping each individual prestige you get additional classes, so you can have up to 10. That would be very, very cool, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what they have to offer there. And as you can see here, the secondary weapon here has 5 attachments, and that is the Deagle weapon from previous Call of Duty games. It's called the 50 cal GS here in this game, but as you can see here, it has 5 attachments, and she's going to go ahead and customize the M4A1 here in this video, which is going to be very, very interesting. So let's go ahead and jump into that. So as you can see here with the Gunsmith option here in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, there are a ton of different attachments that you can put on your gun. Again, you're only limited to 5, so that's something that to be very, very aware of, that you can only have 5 attachments. So you can't have what appears to be 9 attachments on your gun, you can only have 5. So there's you are able to customize the muzzle for the gun, the laser sights, the optic, the stock, the rear grip, the magazine, the underbarrel, and the barrel, and that is just a ton of customization. We're not going to go through each individual option and each individual set that they showed like we did with the perks and the lethal and tacticals, because that would be probably a 30-40 minute video. We're just going to briefly touch on some of the new features that go with these new muzzles and stuff like that, and then go from there. So here we can see she's upgrading, or she's putting attachments on the M4A1, and she starts off here with the muzzle, and what she goes over here is the large suppressor, and in each individual gun and each individual attachment there is a pro list and there's a con list, and it explains what the attachment does and how it affects your gun's stats. So as you can see here, the large suppressor silences weapon and increases range, adds a moderate amount of weight and length to the weapon. So as you can see, the pros of that are sound suppression times 3, and the damage range is increased, and the cons of it are aim down sight speed are reduced, the sprint to fire speed is also reduced, the hip fire accuracy is reduced, and the bullet velocity is reduced. So to put the suppressor on, you are taking a giant negative, but for that added bonus of damage range and sound suppression. So you have to be really, really careful with how you organize your attachments and stuff like that, because with all the negatives, I don't think I would use the large suppressor, especially because there's no minimap here in Modern Warfare. There's really no reason to use a silencer unless the enemy is just a really good team that are constantly getting UAVs. And as you can see here, it shows you the exact things that you're hurting your gun with in the actual stats. So as you can see here, there's an accuracy bar, and there is a damage meter right there, range, fire rate, and mobility. And as you can see, the mobility is decreased, so that is again something to be aware of. Now we're going to jump in here with the compensator, which is the next thing she goes over, and this expels gases upward to aggressively fight muzzle climb. And what the pros of this is vertical recoil control, as well as bullet velocity / idle sway control are the cons of that. So as you can see here, you see the actual effect on the stats of the gun. As you can see, the accuracy is a little bit reduced, the range is a little bit increased, and the control is increased as well. So you can actually see what your gun is doing to affect the attachment, which I think is really cool. It's been in previous CODs, but in this game it is a whole new level, and we'll get to that very, very soon. So now she jumps over here with the barrel, and what happens with the barrel is there are 3 different barrels. There's the short barrel, there's a long barrel, and then the barrel before that I actually wasn't able to see. So she puts the muzzle brake on her gun already, so we know that that attachment is already on. So what the short barrel does, it is a short, compact barrel, sacrifices accuracy and range for speed and agility, good for cleaning out tight spaces. So the pros of that are aim down sight speed and movement speed are increased. The aim down sight speed is increased time 2, which is very cool. So it's basically like a quick draw type perk. And the cons of it are decreased bullet velocity times 2, decreased damage range, and decreased recoil control. So as you can see here with the muzzle brake mixed with the, I think she puts the short barrel on or the long barrel, I don't know, we'll have to see here soon. So she puts the long barrel on, so it will go back really quick. So what the long barrel does is the long barrel increases bullet velocity times 2, increases the damage range, and increases recoil control. And the cons of it are times 2 reduction to the aim down sight speed, as well as 1 to the movement speed. So overall, this is a very good attachment. You'll kill enemies faster, you'll have an increased damage range, and you'll be able to control the recoil better. So as you saw, she has the muzzle brake and the long barrel on, and as you can see here, it shows the exact stats for each attachment that is reducing that gun's ability. So as you can see, the range is increased due to the long barrel, the mobility is still decreased by a lot because of the muzzle brake negatives, and of course the range and control are also increased because of the long barrel mixed with the muzzle brake. So very high depth to the weapon customization here in Modern Warfare. So now she's going to talk about the underbarrel. So here we can see that the underbarrel has over 6 attachments. There are a total of 60 different attachments for the primary weapons and 30 total attachments for the secondary weapons. So overall, we have the biggest amount of weapon customization we have ever seen in a Call of Duty game, which is very cool. So as we can see here, there are a ton of different grips here. There's the angled grip, there's the vertical foregrip, there's the close quarters combat grip, there's the operator vertical grip, there's the grenade launcher, and there's another angled grip. So we can see here that she puts the grenade launcher on her gun, and the annoying part is of course that there's a grenade launcher here in the game. So that's a pro for the weapon because it makes it an explosive weapon, but the cons of it are the aim down sight speed and the movement speed are reduced. So to put a grenade launcher on your gun will be a big hamper on your gun because we have 2 vertical grips which will decrease the recoil of the weapon. So you're basically making a big sacrifice to your gun by using a grenade launcher. So I'm sure people will use them, but you're definitely hurting your gun there. And as you can see, when she puts on the grenade launcher, it again shows the weapon stats through all 3 attachments. So now she jumps in here with the stock. There's 4 different stocks here in the game: the heavy stock, the close quarters stock, the lightweight stock, and finally the no stock. So the no stock is aim, walking, movement speed. And that's increased. So basically it's the standard stock from previous Call of Duty games. The movement speed is also increased, but there's ×2 to a lot of things. ×2 negative to recoil control, to aiming gun steadiness, and idle sway control. So as you can see here, the range is increased and the accuracy is a little bit increased, but there are a whole lot of negatives that go with this attachment. Overall, there is a ton of weapon customization in this game, and I cannot wait to really dive in and talk about everything here in Modern Warfare and make best class setup videos, because this is going to be a different year for best class setup videos, because there's going to be a ginormous variety of best class setup videos here in this game, because I'm going to have to really dive in, find what attachments make this gun good, and it's just going to be crazy. So I'm very, very excited to make best class setup videos here in Modern Warfare, because there's so much variety when it comes to making classes. And now we're going to jump in here with these sights, and as you can see, there is a butt ton of sights. So there's almost 15 different sights that you can put on your weapon. There's 2 different sniper scopes, which is just insane, but that is all the sights. They all have their different pros and cons as well, which is very, very cool. So now we'll probably end the video here talking about all of the new weapon perks coming into the game, which is very, very interesting as well. So jumping in here now, we see all of the primary weapon classes here in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So like usual, we have the assault rifles, the SMGs, the shotguns, the LMGs, the marksman rifles, and the sniper rifles. The assault rifles are going to be your standard fully automatic or burst fire guns that are very good for medium range. We have the FR556, we have the M4A1, we have the AK-47, we have the Odin, and we also have the M13 assault rifle. There's only 5 assault rifles at the moment, but I'm sure there's going to be more guns, when the game actually comes out on October 25th, and even in the beta, but we'll just have to see what happens there. We also have SMGs, which are your standard close quarters guns that do a lot of work. We also have shotguns, which are now primaries, not secondaries. We have LMGs again, which are those big, bad, lots of ammo guns that you can just spray all over the place and get a lot of kills with. Marksman rifles are making a return. One marksman rifle that I can talk about that I know already is the lever action marksman rifle that was seen in the trailer multiple times, as well as in the 2v2 gameplay that I showed you guys a week or so ago. So that's very, very cool that they're bringing marksman rifles back. I actually really enjoyed using them. They take a lot of skill to use, and they're very rewarding when you get killed with them, because they do take skill to use. And last but not least, we have sniper rifles, so that's very, very cool as well. And last but not least, we're going to go ahead and jump into all the weapon perks, which is a very, very interesting feature in Modern Warfare that I'm very, very excited to talk to you guys about. So now jumping into the perks here, there are perks for every single weapon in the game. I don't know if the perks vary for each weapon or if they stay the same through every weapon. I don't know that off the top of my head, and they didn't really talk about it in the reveal, but there are definitely perks for weapons here in the game. So as we can see here, the first perk that they show here is sleight of hand, which is pretty much the same as it's always been, and that's just increased reload speed, which is very, very cool. There's also FMJ, there's also combat efficiency type perk. There's 3 different select fires, and I'm not really sure what the bottom 3 are, but I'm pretty sure the one on the far right, in the second row is kind of like that perk from previous Call of Duty games where it would give you full amounts of ammunition in your gun. I don't know what that perk was called. I don't know what it's called off the top of my head. I think it's called fully loaded. So I'm pretty sure that's a fully loaded perk, so I will probably be using this a lot in sacrifice for an attachment. So again, this is something that I also want to tell you guys here in this video. The perks in this game for the weapons, they do replace an attachment, so you have to be very, very careful what attachment you want to use, because if you use a perk instead of 5 attachments, it does replace an attachment, so that's something to be very wary of. And again, it adds another level to weapon customization, which I think is very, very cool, and I'm really, really excited to give these guns a go, experiment with classes, see what feels good, see what feels like crap, and so on and so forth. So I'm very, very excited for that. Anyway guys, that is going to do it for the video. Again, one thing I want to talk about really quickly is the pick 10 system is gone, which is why we have the ability to have 10 attachments for each weapon, 3 perks, and a lethal and a tactical. So that's very, very cool as well. But anyway guys, that is going to do it for the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it was helpful. Hopefully it was interesting, so you guys know and have kind of an idea about what the new created class system is going to be when Modern Warfare comes out on October 25th and the beta comes out on September 12th. But anyway guys, leave a like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you are new. Make sure to check out all of my other recent Modern Warfare videos. I'll have another Modern Warfare video up later today and tomorrow, and I will see you guys all on some more Modern Warfare videos very, very soon.